So Patrick, what'd you think of Aliens?
I like it a lot. I don't like it as much as I remember liking it, and I think a lot of it was the climax wasn't as exciting as I remembered. But it is a good movie. It's got a lot of build up, and then when shit actually hits the fan with all the action in the second half, you don't feel cheated. Like, I think it works really well. And I like it. It's just, I mean, obviously I like horror movies a lot, but to me this is just a more entertaining version of, it's basically the same premise as the original Alien. The only difference is they kind of know what to expect, and there's Newt. Like, those are, other than that, it's the same story basically.
Yeah.
I mean, the 57 years stuff is kind of just like a little thing in the beginning. And then obviously the Ripley having a daughter is only in the special edition anyways. So yeah. I mean, it's basically the same movie as Alien, but it's just captured in a much different way, different style. And I happen to find it a lot more entertaining than Alien. Jim, what about you?
You know, I agree with you. I remember liking it a lot more as opposed to this watch. I kind of thought, oh, it's not as good as I remember, but all the action is still entertaining and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really torn on which one I like more, Alien or Aliens, because I do like that slower pace and that slower build-up and that more kind of like scientific thriller, you know, where it's all about like this sci-fi stuff that's going on in a laboratory, and it's all these scientists trying to figure out what's going on, as opposed to this, which is just like a shoot 'em up. But I love the shoot 'em up stuff so much, like I said, where the Space Marines just unload on xenomorphs throughout the movie. I think it's so funny. It's so much fun to watch. And I love
Funny?
it. Oh, dude, it's hilarious. Like, whenever they just burst into a room and just start like ripping them new ones, like, it's just and the camera pans to like the xenomorph, and they're just like losing limbs left and right, you know.
All right.
Like,
I like the red lighting too. We didn't talk about the red lighting after the power is cut. It's all dark red, and I just think that looks really neat. It's also, if nothing else, Alien, the last like 20 minutes or so until she gets on the pod is all like stroby, and it, like, you remember I was talking about it, like, gave me a headache. Aliens, I'll take the red lighting, the moody red lighting over the obnoxious strobing.
I'm pretty torn, but I do, for sure, I really do like this movie. I thought,
and I like the character stuff in this too. That's something that, you know, in Alien, there really wasn't anything to the characters. They were just kind of like real normal people. And I like this is a bit more, you know, a bit more traditional movie where, you know, we've got some kind of character arc stuff a little bit with Hicks and Ripley kind of forming some kind of friendship kind of thing, like a mutual respect kind of thing. I don't know, but I think even if you take away the motherhood stuff, I think Ripley is just a much more compelling character here when she's dealing with Newt than when she's dealing with that stupid cat.
Yeah, I agree with that. But all in all, honestly, great movie. I saw somebody, or I read once that somebody called it one of the greatest action movies of the 80s. And I don't think that's true, but it might be one of most entertaining.
It's one of them. I mean, 80s was a great decade for action. 80s was a great decade for, like, genre movies. It was a bad decade for, like, high-profile dramas. Like, if you look at what was winning Academy Awards in the 80s, it's, like, not that much stuff that's still popular today. But when you look at action movies, the Indiana Jones movies, Aliens, the first Terminator, Die Hard, like, there's some quality stuff there. Predator. You know, it's a great decade for horror, obviously, especially if you're into slashers with Nightmare on Elm Street, the Friday the 13th movies, but even things like The Shining and Videodrome and The Fly. Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good action movies. I would put this up there. This is up there for me with the Terminator and Die Hard. I think I like this more than Die Hard and First Blood and some other classic ones. I don't think I like it as much as the first or third Indiana Jones movie, but, you know, it's up there.
Well, no, Sean Connery beats anybody else in this category.
Well, I'm putting this above Highlander.
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.